Hey guys, it's Cole from Cole's Quilts, and this video I'm going to be talking about our plan for the Santa quilt along. I know it's been a long time since I've been on here. My apologies. We just got a new dog, and that has been taking a lot of my attention. But I wanted to come on here to talk about my plan for fabric and how I'm going to explain the fabric needed for the Santa quilt along and some starter kits that I've put together. First thing I want to talk about is that this type of quilt pattern is really not the type of quilt pattern where it makes sense or is easy to list the exact fabrics to use in the exact amounts, because there are so many colors that it would just be kind of crazy. And like some of my other scrappy quilts, it's really designed for you to use your scraps. And so for you to look at the color and just see, go through what you have and find something that's as close as possible. But not everyone has that many scraps. One of the things that I have found the most helpful for me personally when I've looked at different fabric for the types of quilts that I make is when they're like fat quarter packs that have from dark to light of like a similar color. So for example, this hibernating pure solids fat quarter pack, honestly, I can't tell you how many times I've bought this. Especially when I'm doing a portrait for like skin tones and whatnot, because there's such a great variation of neutrals. Or another example of that is the Hoffman 1895 watercolors. And they have these in so many colors. Here are some other examples. And it's great because you have this great gradient of dark to light with one similar tone. And so this is an easy way to buy a pack and have like a lot of stuff covered. So for example, if you actually zoom in and look closely at the colors or the types of colors that are in the Santa portrait, you would think, oh, it's like peach and tan, close to white for like skin tone. But if you look, the different parts of the face and the white part of his outfit, it's not just that some are darker and lighter, but there are areas that are cooler and areas that are warmer based on how the light's hitting him. And so if you zoom in and look closely, you have like tans and browns, but then you also have grays. And there are like cooler grays, like blue and green based grays. And then there are some sort of like really neutral red violetish tones. So I would say the best bet for that sort of stuff is to get some sort of fat quarter pack like this. So this one has grays and tans and has neutrals that are cool and warm. It has 22 fat quarters. These are 13 fat quarters. So if you look at this pack, it's like tans and browns, and then this one's more grays. So with these two together, that could cover pretty much most of what you would probably need for the face and the white part of Santa's outfit. You could do something like this for some of the hat and the background. And then a lot of the background is green, so you could also use a green one. So what I've done is I have taken what I think would probably be the best for this design, and I've made a few different combos, and I've priced them so if you buy them together, it's slightly less than if you bought them separately. And so one is a 5-pack of the Hoffman Batiks. So you have the tans and the grays. So that's all like the face and the white of the hat. And then you have red for the hat. And then you have green for the background and some blue also for the lights of the background. So the only thing you would really be missing here is maybe some yellow lights, which honestly you could probably use some of these for those yellow lights. And so you could get away with pretty much everything you need from this 5-pack. Also did a deal for just these two if you feel like you have enough scraps for most of the like bright colors, but maybe not a lot of neutrals. So that's for Batiks. If you want the Art Gallery Pure Solids, I have 2 different combos, both of which have the neutrals. Then one, so I've labeled them Santa Art Gallery Fat Quarter Pack, Cool Reds and Warm Reds. So one would come with this fat quarter set, and this has more reds, but has more like red violets. So there are some sort of peaches that could do some of the face, some reds for the hat, and then some of the other pinks could be used for lights in the background. Or you can do the one that has warmer reds So again, you can use some of the reds for the hats, some of the peaches for the skin, and then you have some orange for the lights in the background. So we have the version where we have one set of the neutrals, one set of the reds, either warm or cool. And then I looked at what other colors we'd be missing, and then I added this one because it has a few more neutrals and it has some yellow and green for the background. My disclaimer is these are not a guarantee that they are going to be the exact amount of fabric and the exact colors that you need, but it's a great starting point, and you could probably get away with doing the whole thing with just those packs. So if you get the art gallery ones, that's up to like 70 fat quarters, which probably would be enough for the whole quilt. Whereas the 5-pack of these would be 60 fat quarters. So that's 15 yards. So that should be way more than enough. If you buy these packs, you're going to have lots of extra fabric. But if you don't have a big stash, what a great way to start building a stash, because you have quite a variety of colors. I also think that jelly roll would work really well with this design if you can find a jelly roll that has like a gradient of colors that we're looking for. Art Gallery doesn't really have jelly rolls. I started carrying some from Hoffman Fabrics, and I didn't see one that was exactly quite, I think, what we needed. So I just added these batiks because, first of all, I love batiks, but I feel like these gradients work great for these kind of quilts. One other thing I have that could be used is there's this line that I love. This is Hoffman Fabrics too. The Sea Salt line by McKenna Ryan Designs. And I've used some of these in some quilts before, but it's basically an ombre fabric. And one of the things I love about this is you could get like a yard of this, and then if you need dark green, cut a piece out here. If you need medium green, cut a piece out here. And if you need light green, cut a piece out here. When you're just trying to like match colors like that, you have one piece of fabric that could be a whole bunch of different colors, which I think is great. This is going to be up on my website. I have green, I have neutral, so this also could be used for some of the skin and the face. I have purple, which there's not necessarily a lot of purple in this quilt, but some of the lights in the background. And then I have this one that has some sort of coral and teal. So again, this could be great for the background because some of this could be used for skin, some of this could be used for the lights in the background, and some of this could be used for the lights in the background. So those are going to be up on my website. So I came up with a description of basically like the range of colors and generally the amount of, so it's not exact like you need this color and you need a fat quarter of that color. It's going to be like tans from like dark brown to light tan. And then it's like for that range, you're going to need, let's say, maybe like 3 yards. So it is an amount suggestion and it does list the type of colors, but it's not super exact. So I think what I'm going to do is I will post that on my Quilt-alongs page that will have some information about like what the fabric requirements are going to kind of look like. So that also if you wanted to figure that out on your own through your stash or buying fabric somewhere else, that you would be able to start thinking and planning for that because it's going to be coming up. It is going to kind of be it's a longer quilt along. Also, I've set up a rewards program on my website where as you buy things, you earn points, which then gives you discounts off of buying more stuff. So come buy some fabric and see. Lastly, if you are a crocheter or a knitter, I have the Alpaca Yarn Company yarn. I am also adding Lion Brand yarn. So come check out my yarn selection. That feels like a tongue twister. Come check out my yarn selection. Happy quilting.